Wow, 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 wow. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. You know what, guys? I'm so excited because everything you need to know about force majeure, we're going to talk about it today. And today is going to be a day that a lot of people will understand what it actually meant, what is in there, what is going to happen, what some people are trying to do lately by trying to go around the corner and steal the procedure and steal whatever we want to do and change things right. No, it's not going to happen. Because no matter what we do, we're going to do it the right way. We are law-abiding people. We're law-abiding people. We're law-abiding people. And we're not going to do anything else apart from abide with the law. And the rules are rules. And it's going to be governed by so many things. So guys, sit tight. I got this gentleman that's been working on this for the last 11 years or nearly so many years. But I've come back record and have a look at so many things, and so many things are there, and so many things has actually been done by this gentleman. And I want to say a very big thank you to this guy and to everybody who is watching this program. And on top of that, this guy is a hard-working guy. Look at him on Christmas Day. I still managed to drag him out. That was very hard. Mr. Thomas, you're very naughty. How can you be dragging this gentleman out at this time of the morning on Christmas Day? What about time with his family? Well, he loves his people so much that he will give anything. Someone working on a project for the last 11 years or so or more. I've seen 11. Hi, Ade Thomas. I've seen 11 years. So he's been working on it for more than 11 years. That's the one I've seen. He's been to so many places. He's been to Congress. He's been to this. He's been to that. He's been talking about force majeure for the last 11 years. Maybe before I was born. Guys, to enjoy this program and to make it go the right way, please and please and please, I'm begging you, share it to all the appropriate medium. Everywhere that this needs to go to, please send it there. Let everybody know that things are not the way they used to be anymore. You know, in England, there's a say in England. When you get to some tube station, they just not even tube station. When you get to the last stop of the bus, you say all change. So all change in Nigeria, and then we're gonna have to. Everybody has to go and get another bus. We can't continue in the bus of Nigeria anymore. So from today, very soon, very, very, very soon, definitely very soon, we're all gonna have to change the bus we're traveling in. A lot of people don't want to travel in Nigerian bus anymore. Some people want to travel in Oduduwa bus. Some people want to travel in Biafra bus. Some people want to travel in Lower Niger bus. Some people even want to travel in Arewa bus. Some people want to travel in Middle Belt bus. So many other buses, because our destination is different. We can't keep going to a destination that leads to destruction. Destination Nigeria is destruction. So guys, if you're still in that bus, you need to get out. Have you heard the news lately? How many people were kidnapped during this holiday period, going back to their own place for Christmas? What nonsense is that? Have you heard about how many accidents that happen because there's no rule of law in that contraction called Nigeria? Today, I want to welcome Tony Nandi again, because this man is a workaholic. I don't know what I can say about this man alone, because all I can say is, Tony, I want to say a very big thank you to you first of all before I say anything else. Can you say something to her and wish your listener happy Merry Christmas, please, Tony?
Listeners, I will only say Merry Christmas, but we're in the middle of a war, and incidentally, our opponents in this war actually target this kind of a period. Remember, 2 years ago, on the eve of Christmas, they went into a community in southern Kaduna and slaughtered 890 people, just preparing for Christmas under a curfew that the Air of Governor had declared at the time. So this is a period they actually target Christians for attack. And so we're in the midst of that war. And that's the reason we can take 1 hour to, do the the things that need to be done. 10 days after we came out with this force majeure, a lot of interpretations all over the place, a lot of attempt at mischief to, reframe the narrative and take it away from what whereas there's something written. So I say, welcome to viewers, so we can, have an X-ray of what we put out, put everything in perspective. What exactly are we saying? What exactly should be done now? And so there's no going back and forth as the minders of the old order will want all of us. We're not confused. They can get confused. But if they read what we put on the table, their confusion will go away. Yeah. Welcome, viewers.
Somebody said to me lately that the people we're dealing with, they don't read. All they do is count cows, not read. I hope this explanation, we don't want them to read. We're going to explain things to them in a layman language that they will have to understand either by force or by fire. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the nitty-gritty of the program today. Force majeure. What is force majeure? And what is this proposing? What is the proposed thing about this force majeure? So that people can understand, because people want to twist it around, but we don't want it twisted. People want to go, they want to cajole us like the way they normally do before. We don't want that. So let's spell it out in a layman language. Force majeure for a dummy. Tony.
Yeah. Force majeure is a standard provision in contracts whereby parties can suspend obligations if extraordinary circumstances arise. It could be war, it could be riot, it could be earthquake, or any of the things that are beyond the control of all parties. Something extraordinary happening that the parties didn't have in contemplation at the time they were going into their contracts. Force majeure is that leeway for parties that can no longer fulfill their own side of the obligations in the contract to suspend obligations, so that they can rearrange themselves and go to something else. And so, to the extent that the Constitution is a social contract, our sovereignty, that contract, like every other contract, has two sides. Our sovereignty is submitted into a union in return for certain expectations that will be provided by that union and its management. That's the government now of the Federation and all of those who manage that union. And so it is that social contract that has those two sides that has now come into extraordinary circumstances have now arisen around that social contract. The terms under which we submitted ourselves and our people into the union have been unilaterally altered in a fundamental way by one side to the contract. And then all of the alterations that they imposed have become of a nature that those who are the receiving end of it are no longer willing to continue in the union of death that Nigeria has become for them, in the union of attrition. I'm sure most of our people are following closely the hearings going on in Washington, in Capitol Hill, concerning Nigeria, where people who have taken enough trouble to observe what's going on here are now telling us that the U.S. Congress now probing into these killings by the Fulani of indigenous nationalities. What are they after? How are they doing it? Is the government involved in it? These are the questions that have been raised and answered in that congressional hearing. And we'll remember that last year, 2019, between January and the end of July, we were in Washington explaining to stakeholders, particularly the U.S. government and all organs of the U.S. government that might be involved in looking out for how these kind of things unfold. We took time to explain to them that we have been caught in this kind of a situation where our compatriots in the union we thought, a secular union we thought we were building, had embraced not only Sharia but invited ISIS and other malevolent machineries of terror to come to support them, to come to reinforce them in what has become a clear ethnic cleansing in the Nigerian and the larger Lake Chad basin. So that's the background from which we are coming, and the force majeure that have been declared is to tell the international community, the Federation of Nigeria, as represented by the federal government of Nigeria, in clear terms, that those who have been at the receiving end of the distorted, Federation of Nigeria, that's the defunct Federation of Nigeria. The country is still there, but the Federation, the terms of our union, which have been unilaterally altered by one section of the country, which is now resulting in debts and mass poverty and all kinds of untoward things for the citizens, has come to where people no longer want to carry on, especially the union as defined by the current constitution, by the 1999 constitution imposed by that section of the country that also imposed the Sharia. And that is the whole essence of declaring this emergency. And what we have done essentially is to give a 90 days notice, for certain things to be done, failing which other things will happen. 90-day notice with a 5-point demand of specific things that should happen if we are to continue in this union. That is, the two sides have to make up their mind what they do if the union is distressed at this moment, because the constitution by which that social contract is defined, that's the 1999 constitution, we are saying is a fraud. And when I say we, it's an alliance of the South and Middle Belt operating in 3 blocks. You may call up the map that shows the two sides to the dispute, the Sharia belt and the balance of Nigeria that is in 3 blocks, the Lower Niger, the Yoruba block, and Middle Belt. That's the alliance. That's the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS. And so it is in that setting that we are declaring that we declared this sovereignty dispute. You can call it union dispute, because our union agreement, that's the constitution, our union agreement has been altered fundamentally by the people who imposed the constitution we did not discuss. The one we discussed was toppled in 1966. We've waited for all the time from 1967 after the Abori meeting for that agreement to be restored so that we can go back to being a federation. Those who are, that minority that have now embraced Sharia, that have now brought ISIS to reinforce themselves, are the ones saying, no, we have conquered you. We had El-Rufai saying that we cannot be El-Rufai, the body bag governor in in Kaduna State. We had him say clearly that we can note that it is unrealistic to expect us to be in, equal partners in the union. In other words, we've conquered you. You must shut up when we speak. That's their attitude. And we say the rest of us who have become a majority in the whole discussion, that's the whole of the South and the whole of the Middle Belt, constituting over 75% of the country of Nigeria, and also providing more than 98% of all the resources being used to run the union, including human capital. We're saying that we've come to the end of that endurance of that, because you can endure deprivation, you can endure some maltreatment or marginalization, but who can endure death that it has become? People are being slaughtered all over the place by people who are not making any pretense about their intention to kill people and take their land. That's what all this brigandage is all about. They throw our borders open and they're bringing in all kinds of their stock from all over the continent. And we saw a governor, the one in Bauchi, telling everybody that Fulani from all over Africa belong to Nigeria. And we saw our president throw our borders open and they are here killing people and taking over their lands. And so we said, if the reason we have to die is because we're in the Union of Nigeria, the definition of that union, the social contract we entered in 1960 at Lancaster House, having been toppled by that same side, we will have to insist that our signature cannot continue to validate our damnation, which is what it comes to, what it sums up to when you look at the fact that the title deed by which they come from their Sokoto and Kano to kill people in Makurdi and Port Harcourt and Lagos and Ibadan is on account of the claim that we the people submitted ourselves in a union, as reflected in the preamble to that constitution. So we breaking it down, bringing it further down to our ordinary people to understand. We have declared a union dispute. We have declared a dispute about our membership of the Nigerian Union, because it has been changed from what we agreed to what we have never discussed. And it's injuring us and causing us not only death, but such a setback that generations have gone without fulfilling their potentials, because Nigeria is the way it is. They don't have electricity, they don't have security, they don't have infrastructure, they don't have any hope, they don't have they don't have any assurance that they will be treated fairly in the union they thought was their union. They've lost the secular status because somebody has imposed Sharia. So if we have declared a dispute that has to be resolved in 90 days, that's a mechanism. A mechanism must be on the table. Those 5 items of demand revolve around what has to be done to put a time frame within which, a firm time frame within which the grievances emanating from all these, distortions in our union agreement must be addressed. Like South Africa had to address the apartheid constitution 80 years after those who rejected apartheid, had campaigned on the streets. We have campaigned sufficiently for those who should have been listening to us to have listened, but they refused. So we now have come to where, in the absence of folding our arms and getting killed to the last man, we say we must now do it in this period. If we're not doing it in this period, at the end of that 90 days, we will reconsider our allegiance to that constitution. We're just tolerating that constitution for the sake of peace. But if anybody decides to stretch his luck in terms of testing our will, whether they can just carry on, then we already wrote into the proclamation, and we invite our people to please go take a look at that proclamation. We don't read. All of what is happening to us are written. So if we refuse to read, we're just signing up to die. All of what happened to us, the amalgamation of 1914 was by one-page document in writing. The constitution by which our assets are taken away from us and our lives have been rendered unlivable is in writing. Now the constitutional force majeure, the proclamation of December 16, is to nullify the Union of 1914, is to bring up for the renegotiation, time-bound renegotiation of the Union of 1999. That is the Union of Nigeria as defined by the 1999 Constitution. So if we have something that can be read all together in less than 1 hour, some people can read it in 30 minutes, please find wherever you can get it. It's available freely on the internet. If you go to the website called www.freedomfromnigeria.com, www.freedomfromnigeria.com, go straight to the portion of it that is titled Steps to Our Self-Damnation, Steps to Our Freedom. You will see it there. You will see that proclamation. Read that proclamation. Go to the 5 points of demand so you can see exactly what we're saying. Don't let anybody interpret it to you. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, they are asking for restructuring. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, they're asking for what are all the things they're bandying around now, like Channel TV did the other day. Some say it is a 2014 conference we are talking about. Some say it is Sovereign National Conference. No, we are simply saying that in 90 days from the date of that proclamation, the federal government of Nigeria must come out to acknowledge what has been the grievance, the dispute that have been declared. They can't continue to pretend nothing has been said. They must make a definite, announcement of the fact that constitution cannot continue to remain the basis of the union, particularly of elections going forward. And we see the one they're advertising for 2023. They must come to announce to us that we'll go into a transitioning, the type South Africa did in 1990 with apartheid. So we have 5 items listed there. The modalities of how it will all be undertaken, we have these are specific things. We're saying that we must have these things happening in these 90 days for us to as a show of intention, a show of commitment to reviving the dead union. If in those 90 days we don't have answers to those specific demands. We already wrote it into the proclamation that we will, and when I say we, the South and the Middle Belt that is choking, that is now in the existential threat imposed on them by this by the brigandage of one side, the Fulani and their empire building intentions. We're saying that that side that is choking, that majority that is choking, that majority that has rejected that constitution as basis of Nigeria or any union at all, will reconsider their allegiance to that imposed constitution. We're just tolerating it now for the sake of peace. We're just tolerating it now for the sake of peace. But we've come to the end of that toleration, since the other side, the people who imposed it, are not willing to reason or to listen. They think it's all about it's all going to be decided by shooting and killing. Some of them are pointing us to the National Assembly, and I get ashamed. I get ashamed of some of my senior colleagues like Olisa Abakoba and co, who are going about talking about National Assembly to come and resolve the issue of sovereignty we are raising. They say the other time he went out saying that the National Assembly, he said he wrote what's it called, that he sent a bill, National Assembly will pass that to become restructuring. How does National Assembly come into what we are discussing? Does National Assembly now hold our sovereignty for us? We voted them to go and make laws under the Constitution, under a Constitution. Now the issue is that we say we have not made any Constitution. The 1999 fraud cannot remain the basis of governmental power and authority. We've tolerated it for 21 years. And somebody like Olisa Abakoba, senior advocate, is pointing us to that National Assembly to come out. National Assembly that is itself a product of the fraud we're talking about. As if our sovereignty have been donated to them to hold for all purposes. Their legislative mandate does not extend to constitution making. If Olisa Abakoba has to go back to the university to be taught the jurisprudence of constitution making, the jurisprudence of sovereignty, he should do so, or get out of the public space other than throwing confusion all over the place. From that till now, he has now gone to the one where he was saying that the National Assembly should go and adopt what the soldiers did illicitly in 1999 to now become the one who did it. Even if they do that, how does our sovereignty become their property? This is shameful. Can't somebody shut up and get out of public space? So we're just saying that all of those things that are being thrown out, there are some people who say, elders, whatever, say they want to go back to 1963 Constitution. Yes, we want to go back to the regional autonomy level represented by that 1963 Constitution. That's the end product. Our concern right now, we've been saying we want to do that. We've been saying we want to return to autonomy level agreed in Lancaster House. It hasn't happened for 21 years. Now we have a plan that can compel it to happen in a determinable time frame. Then these people, this same set of people band together and they are writing constitution first before discussion. We must have a discussion to recommit to the union before we begin to write any constitution. You don't build a house from the roof. Constitution is the documentation of the union agreement. The first thing is discussion. The same way we had in Lancaster House, the same way we had to in Aburi. We must discuss the union afresh. That is what has to happen. Anybody who thinks he can, short circuit it and go towards National Assembly or call national conference of some sort, let us look at what is on the table. Let us deal with what is on the table. These 128 signatories have written something specific. In the last part where they put the 5 demands in the 90 days of notice, things that have to be addressed. Let nobody put words in our mouths. Let nobody try to reframe it in his own language to suit what he wants to pursue. Let us deal with the specifics that are in that. Let the answers, let the discussion begin with, you say this. Okay, we say that. Not for you to pretend you didn't know what we said, and you come back saying it has to be this or that. we 10 days already gone into the 90 days. Let's not wait for when, because at the end of that 90 days, if these things are not already done, somebody coming at the end of that 90 days to say, okay, now let us come and listen and hear what you are saying. It may be a lot more difficult. It may become an impossibility to set up a table of discussion. We have 90 days to go and discuss this matter now, so that we can know we're in the process. We have no quarrel with those in government house. We say they can remain like South Africa did with apartheid. Frederick de Klerk and co. remained in government house. We have no quarrel with those in government house. In the period of the discussion, they can remain maintaining, what we call nominal governance, transitional capacity. But if they think they can hold us all down and carry on with this constitution that is costing us our lives, they are going to learn the hard way.
Wow, thank you very much for that. That was very comprehensive enough. Some people have been going on and saying maybe they want to send that person or that person and that person. But there was a video made by Professor Banji Akintoye some few days ago saying these are the people that this issue are concerned. These are the principal subjects. And he mentioned two people, the president and the vice president. And he even said that even if the vice president is coming, he must has a mandate. Right? And if those two people come in, they can bring 200 ministers if they like. They can bring the whole of the northern people or Arewa or Meete Allah or whatever they like to bring. It's not a problem. But these two people are the stakeholders, the principal stakeholders in place of authority currently under the 1999 Constitution. That those are the two people that we're prepared to talk to. Let's assume they come end of February and say, let us discuss. Is that acceptable?
Repeat the last thing you said.
If they come end of February and said,
yeah,
let us start the negotiation now, does that make sense? Judging from their record.
End of February, the date of this proclamation is December 16th, 2020.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about weeks or months that could be difficult to calculate. We said 90 days that will be reckoned from the midnight of that 16th. And so the time frame within which these 5 things we talked about would have happened. It takes only one announcement. It takes only one announcement, the type that Frederick de Klerk did in 1990, to say that, yes, we all now agree that this constitution has a fundamental flaw that is responsible for the society that is now upside down. We now agree it can no longer sustain the society, and therefore we cannot carry on to another election that will renew the life of that constitution. To say we must now go into transition in this manner and that manner. It takes only one announcement to commence. It takes only, a few consultations amongst all of those, if there's honesty to engage in, to find the modalities to get started. But we're saying that all of that must happen inside these 90 days. All of that, the commencement of that, we're not saying that that constitution has to be thrown away inside those 90 days. No, we're only talking about acknowledgement of the grievances of those who are complaining. We're talking about a transition to go into the process for its replacement. Those in government house now, the last election, let us even concede they have 4 years, no matter how they came about it. That's not our concern. In those 4 years, they spent only a year and a half. Now we have 2.5 years. They are still talking about the election in 2023, as if what we're saying does not matter. Who are you guys to talk to us in this manner? We're heading to our election. We're raising this kind of issue, and somebody is going about reconfirming the tenure of INEC Mahmoud, INEC chairman, and others are rolling out timetable. The charlatans who are talking about whose turn it is to preside over the robbery business Nigeria has become in 2023 are busy, launching their campaigns at a time people are the owners of the land have rejected the constitution by which the winner of such an election will govern, and you ignore them, and you are going on as if, well, what can they do to you? I hope the people doing it are not going to put themselves on a head-on collision with those who are choking, those who have been killed in the Middle Belt, those whose assets have been seized in Niger Delta, those who are living in the apprehension of death in Yoruba land. Our people all over the world, our diaspora population that want to come home, but there's no home to return to because Nigeria have been turned into the jungle it has become. I hope those who are talking about APC and PDP and whose turn it is to govern or who to be president, I hope they do not find themselves on a head-on collision with those who have been asking for this change peacefully. The young people whose future have been mortgaged, who came out the other time protesting, and all they got from Nigeria was to be shot at, to be killed. Were the ones standing between them and the other things they can do. We're telling them, let's not go in the direction of anarchy. We have something that can solve it. They are holding their peace now just because of this proposition. If anybody want to test the will of these young people, let them continue to ignore what we're saying. Let them continue to play pranks of say we go to National Assembly or we call one stupid conference or the other, or to say let us just go and build a house from the roof to say this is the kind of constitution where they are looking for. No, don't write any constitution. Come to the table. Let us solve the two problems Bola defined long time ago. We have that constitution made two false claims in its preamble. It says, we the people have solemnly resolved to live together in unity as one indissoluble country, indivisible country. That's a false claim. Nobody met. The people in the committee that Nikki Toby and other people, the people that the committee they call a constitution debate committee set up by Absalom Abaka cannot become the replacement for the sovereign constituents that should be discussing the union and the terms of the union. The union and the terms of the union. They are two separate subject matters. Under what conditions did the Yoruba accept to submit their lands and their people into the union? That's the first leg. You come back to the preamble that now continues, do hereby make and give unto ourselves the following constitution. That's the second leg. It is after you have solemnly resolved by discussing that you can now come to the question of writing a constitution. Anybody who is going about now, bandying one constitution or the other, like I see the ones who say they want to go back to 19, they have written a constitution. They're confronting us with the constitution they've written. We're not interested in that. We're saying, let us accept that the one on the table is a fraud. Let us get our people to recommit to the union, because the collapse of that constitution is the end of the union itself. We cannot jump that chasm. We cannot pretend that it is Nigeria's, that the sacrosanct we are still discussing. Those who are rejecting that constitution are rejecting the union itself. We don't want anarchy. That's why we say let those in government house continue in government house in the period of this discussion. But as for whether this discussion will hold, it is up to them to come in good time. If they think they don't want to come, there's a default that will kick in. We're not there. If they don't come, the sovereignty of those who are choking cannot be subjected to what a few people in government house will say or do. The reason the co-convener of the alliance, the reason he had to make that announcement is that they might think it's one of those things. Let us set up a small committee of people who nobody's going to waste time. The issue raised now, the dispute raised is raised against the federal government of Nigeria, and the head of that federal government is the president of Nigeria. The elected head of that federal government is the president. If for any reason it's not available, the vice president who ran on a joint ticket with him, can come to discuss. But in coming to discuss, we will not accept a situation where he will waste everybody's time and now say he's going to tell his principal. Whatever they need, whatever that team that will come to discuss will need, that's why we say it must be the president. It must be the president himself, so that he doesn't have anybody else to go to consult. If you want to come with the vice, if you want to come with all his ministers, they are all welcome. But if they are setting up any team of say they may begin to gather all these kind of people who go talking nonsense all over the place to say they're coming, nobody will pay attention to any of that. And if anybody comes to say, okay, we've talked now, let me go and tell my principal, we will interpret that to mean that no meeting
has been held.
If the meeting starts appropriately, that the president turns up and we have if there's something now that is, to be done by a committee of, in terms of subsequent meetings of how to proceed with what has been discussed, that's a different subject. But this grievance is all these grievances by these three blocks are addressed to the federal government of Nigeria, and the head of that federal government of Nigeria is the one being invited to take a position and to do something about the issues. If for any reason it's not available, he could be sick. Yeah, we are human beings. We know people can be ill at times, so we already have in mind that he may be ill, indisposed for some health reason. Therefore, the man who ran on the same ticket with him, the vice president, could step in. But in coming for that meeting, he must have sufficient mandate to commit, so that we don't go to the point where he goes away saying he has to go and consult with his principal before he comes back. Nobody has the patience for that kind of rigmarole anymore. People are dying all over the place.
Well, people are dying all over the place, and they're not just dying, they're dying every second. They're dying not in once, but in 3-digit figures. We recently heard about some school kids that was kidnapped, and the government couldn't do anything about it. And someone came back later on and said they pay ransom, and one of the boys says they were not kidnapped by the people that the government said they were kidnapped with. This is the kind of fraud that is going on in Nigeria. I want to thank Mr. Tony Nandi again for every explanation that is going on now. So, some people are saying this is what it means. That is what it means. This is what they want. This is what they want. That's all nonsense. What happened to the international media that we wrote to? That I have evidence of email exchange between me and them, and they refuse to talk about it. What are they doing? It's the biggest news coming out of Nigeria for so long. And these are the people that we think that might be able to help us. The international, Donald Trump called them fraud. Maybe they're fraud. Maybe. I wouldn't want to call BBC or Sky or CNN or Al Jazeera or Fox News fraud unless they prove to me really that they're fraudulent. Because I send them email and they acknowledge my email before the show.
Well, somebody called me from BBC yesterday talking about why they were not invited. I told him no. I'm certain that BBC was invited. And beyond the international media, let's even look at our own media. What has the Nigerian media said about this kind of watershed development? Nothing. They are carrying on as if nothing has happened, except for some few inside page, paragraphs. They just carried on as if another group has issued a communique. Where are the newspapers in this land? Where is D-Day newspaper? Where is Guardian newspaper? Where is Vanguard newspaper? Where is Sun newspaper? Where are all the newspapers in the land? Where is Arise TV? Where is AIT? Where's Channels TV, other than the attempt to reframe what we were saying in their short interview with Professor Turaki, one of the Yusuf Turaki, one of the signatories? Where is the Nigerian media in all this discussion? They are carrying on as if nothing has been said, bringing people who are planning to go to contest the election and telling us whose turn it is. Shame on the Nigerian media. At a time, the international community is stopping everything that they are doing to discuss Nigeria that is in distress. In the same in a space of 3 weeks, in a space of 3 weeks, the ICC says what is going on in Nigeria looks like is genocide, is crime against humanity. In that space of 3 weeks, the UN said genocide going on. In that space of 3 weeks, the US on the 7th of December designated Nigeria a country of particular concern for the ethno-religious killings going on here, meaning that Nigeria has become state sponsor of terror, along with Iran and Afghanistan and all the other countries they named there. And people are still going around in Nigeria as if nothing is happening. Your country has been designated as sponsor of terror. In all of that, look at the hearing going on in Washington now. Listen to what they're saying, and they begin to wonder where are the Nigerians themselves. That it will take foreigners discussing what Fulani is doing to exterminate them. They're not interested in talking about it. They say, don't say, don't say. The media of Nigeria must stand up now to be counted on the side of the people. Otherwise, they are aiding and abetting the criminality and the genocide being visited on the rest of Nigeria by this invading Fulani. Why can't they talk about this proclamation? Why can't they talk about the demand? We're talking about the constitution by which the union is currently erected. We're talking about something that can end the union itself. And they're busy discussing the elections that will happen. And then some other ones are busy promoting all kinds of nasty suggestions about how to handle the situation. Why are you not addressing what we have on the table?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Tony. I really appreciate everything you are saying to us. Let me speak to our audience globally. This force majeure, they communicate the paperwork that was
proclamation
that someone said to me some time ago, if you want to hide vital information, hide it in a book, because we don't like reading. The media in the diaspora has teamed up together, including Abike, Quick Media, Bedu, Citizen Y, even Maegun. We've all team up and come up with a solution to this. Within the next few hours, the audio version of this force majeure document will be made available to everybody, so that you don't have to read. Just put it by your headside and then listen to it. Use your earpiece, listen to it, and play it on your telly. It will be available. The audio format of this declaration will be made available within the next few hours, today, before the end of the day. This is in conjunction with all the medias in the diaspora, including the African Porter in South Africa, including my brother in America, even my brother in Turkey. All these people, we team up together to say, this thing, we don't want to make it happen just in paper form. We want to make it happen in audio formats, so that everybody can have access to it. And there will always be a reference to the website where you can put your name as a signatory to it. And before we go, one final thing. What will be your suggestion, Mr. Tony, to everybody that wants to buy into the idea of what is going on now, especially those people that are confused? Because some people are confused currently. What will be your advice, apart from read the document, listen to the document? What will be your advice? Is this something to say, watch more? Do we need to do more of these eyes opener thing, so that a lot of people can actually see what is happening, Mr. Tony?
Yes, thank you. What we'll be asking our people to do at this time is first to pay attention and understand as much as they can. Let them read what they have on before them, because the Bible already condemned the ignorant to perish. If you don't know because you didn't know when you could know, if the flood comes, it will carry you into oblivion. So please, 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 let us get on it to get to know, even if it's just the demands, the 5-point demand that can be read in 1 minute to the end. Second, let us disseminate, inform other people we can find. There are many people who do not even know that anything has been said or done. Let us take it upon ourselves to inform those who may not have been informed up till now that this thing is going on. Take the material and spread it. There are short versions of it. There are flyers already made out of it. There are this audio. I was called by somebody in Ibadan the other day that the radio station belonging to Yinka Yefele had been that he did broadcast that. So everybody, everywhere, everybody who has a platform, it could be online, it could be the terrestrial radio, anything at all that can reach 10, 50, 2 million people, get this information and put it out there that the owners of Nigeria have declared a sovereignty dispute, a union dispute, that they've given 90 days to the system to come to the table or risk the things that they will do unilaterally because their sovereignty is not subjected to anybody agreeing with them. Under the UN instruments, giving them the relief they seek now for themselves is called self-determination. They already activated a process by which they will exercise that self-determination, and nobody in government, no federal government of Nigeria is going to have some supervisory role over what they do with their sovereignty. Their sovereignty is inalienable. Now, we disseminate what we find so that more people who are in this trouble can get to know that there's this solution. But more importantly, the action we'll be inviting them to take now has to do with stopping the journey to another election under that constitution. That is the one that is their own task after they understand. And what are those things they need to understand? Let me break it down further. The things they will need to understand so that they can go to that action. The first thing is that all their miseries are flowing from that constitution. Whether it is the killings going on all over the place, whether it is the infrastructure that is in decay, whether it is the corruption that is climbing the rooftops of Nigeria, whether it's the impunity we see, or the SARS, the killings by the police and army upon, against the citizens, the poverty that is being inflicted by government policy, recklessness of government. So in all of it, everything is flowing from that constitution. We have shown so much of it. Provisions in black and white. That constitution in black and white absolve the government of responsibility towards you. The government does not owe you any obligation for security or welfare. That portion where they say they owe you that obligation is nullified by another section, section 6, subsection 6C of that constitution. Ask any lawyer who tells you otherwise, tell him that Tony Nadi said he's a rogue, that he's ignorant, he's illiterate. Look at the ones that went to file a suit in Abuja, talking about 50 billion they will be paid for the fact that people were not appointed the way they are supposed to be appointed under federal character, provisions of the constitution. But those lawyers forget that that whole chapter 2 that has those provisions for equity, that has those provisions for what government will do for you as a citizen. That whole chapter is nullified by section 6C of the same constitution that makes that chapter non-justiciable, meaning that it's completely at the discretion of the government to do or not to do anything contained in that chapter, including this equitable distribution of opportunities and assets. So in all, the first item you must have in mind, you must understand fully, is that everything you complain about happening to you in Nigeria is coming from that constitution. When you understand that, we go to the second thing, that constitution gains, the life of that constitution is renewed every 4 years by election. The third thing to understand is that only political parties contest elections. The fourth thing is that the winner of any election will govern by that constitution. Let us go through them again so that we can understand the task we will be inviting our people into in terms of making these things happen, taking down that constitution and restoring their life to them, their land to them, their security to them, their access to them. Whether you seek Odua Republic, it is when that constitution goes down that you go to referendum. Whether you seek Biafra Republic, it is when that constitution goes down that you'll be going to referendum. Whether you seek resource control, it is when that constitution goes down that your assets detained by it will be restored to you. Whatever it is you want. Whether you seek regional autonomy, anything you want different from what Nigeria is dishing out to you, the first order of business is for that constitution to go down. How will that constitution go down? It is for you to understand these 4 things we've listed, and therefore to become part of those who will then say to those political parties that you cannot drag us to another election that will renew the life of that constitution. That is where your task really comes in, because they are going in your name to go and become president, to go and become senator, to go and become governor. At the end of the day, they will make the humongous sums of money guaranteed them under that constitution. You see what the governors do every month. They go to Abuja in your name, collect 5-10 billion. You see the senators and house members in Abuja, they go every month, 50 million, 40 million, 60 million, depending on how they share for the day. Even the ones in the state assembly, all of those who swear to defend and uphold this apartheid constitution of Nigeria are the ones tormenting you, are the ones killing you, are the ones authorizing what is happening to you, whether it is poverty or it is the killing or it is any other kind of marginalization. The quota system that locks you out of opportunities. All those things are coming from that constitution, and the people who are sustaining it are the political parties who have refused to listen to the need for us to stop and repair this place. So we have come to where we are going to tell them, you must close shop. Political parties, close shop until we have determined the terms of the union. If we don't do that, they're going to drag us to another election in 2023. And we're not talking about boycotts here. Election in 2023. Boycott is at the last minute. It's already too late. We're saying that inside 2020, within the first quarter of 2021, it is within our reach to go to our neighborhoods, every street corner, anywhere you see political party flag. They are ganging up. They have no other thing they are waiting to do than to drag you to another election that will renew the life of that constitution, which was why I listed the 4 things you need to know. Your misery is 100%. Any part of your misery you point, I will show you the section of the constitution that guarantees it. And no relief will come to you except that constitution goes down. Whether it's electricity you want so that your business can survive, it is that electricity on exclusive list that makes sure that you don't have electricity, that guarantees that you will never have electricity. The security you don't have is on account of the arms and ammunition that is in that exclusive list. Nothing will improve except that constitution goes down. Those in the Niger Delta talking about resource control, except that constitution goes down, your oil and gas assets will remain in the hands of Kano and Sokoto people, and they will kill you anytime you raise complaint. That was what killed Kansar Uwa. That's what killed all of those they killed in Odi, all of those they killed in Okerenkoko, all of those they killed in Obake, all of those that are still planning to kill. If you do not take down that constitution and you are asking them to give you back your resource, you are ignorant, you are illiterate, you will perish out of your ignorance. Those who seek Biafra, those who seek Odua, for saying so, you could be criminalized. For acting on it, you could be killed, shot at sight. But if you take down that constitution, your sovereignty is back on the table. You can then decide whether you want it 100% as in republic or 80% as in regional autonomy. But everything starts with taking down that constitution. If we don't, they will hang on to it, get to another election. Those who are killing you, who are controlling all the guns exclusively, will continue to have access to your area because there's a union of Nigeria. If you listen closely to the fellow in Jigawa that was talking about oil of Bayelsa belonging to Jigawa, he said it repeatedly that as long as we're in the union, we have raised that union dispute now to say we are no longer in this union if it is under this constitution that we imposed. That's what that force majeure means. We are no longer in this union, except we go to a meeting now. If we're not going to that meeting, everybody will escalate their unilateral actions to extricate themselves from the union of debt imposed by the constitution, the fraudulent constitution, to put their signature upon. That's what it is. We have made that proposition. We have considered all factors. We've talked to these international stakeholders in it. Those 4 items should be clear to the minds of those who are confused now. Your problem, all your miseries, and the existential threat you face now, the poverty you face now, everything you complain about, flow from that constitution. Only political parties, the elections are used every 4 years to renew the life of that constitution. Only political parties contest the elections. Any winner of election will swear to and govern by that constitution. Because of these 4 things, if you put the 4 together, you will now come to the understanding of the fact that for us to stop them from going to renew the life of that constitution and compel that meeting we have suggested must happen now, the first order of business is to stop the political parties from dragging us to another election. And the time to stop them is now. The time to stop them is now. That is the role being assigned to you to save yourself from death. Tell the political parties, you cannot take us to another election in 2023. Full stop. Compel them to close shop. They are the only enemies we have identified now because they are the ones holding the ladder for the renewal of the life of that constitution. They've been doing so since 1999. We started this campaign 3 weeks after the constitution was introduced in 1999. The political parties have been the ones frustrating the campaign because they want to go and get benefit for themselves. Whether they are PDP or APC or ABGA, all of them subscribe to this constitution. All the political parties subscribe to this constitution. In fact, that should be the 5th item in the list of things you should know. All the political parties subscribe to this constitution. So let them not come and tell you that they will be better than the other. Have you not seen all of them now? PDP have been there. We saw them. APC have been there. It's like going to fetch water with basket. If you are foolish enough to believe that if somebody comes from another political party under this constitution, that life will be better for you, you are just being fooled. And we must talk directly now to the young people being invited to come and join, to come and form young people party and become president and solve all the problems. You are being invited to a forest of 1,000 demons. What your salvation is not in going to government house. Your salvation is in taking down that constitution. The same way the blacks of South Africa had no future other than apartheid constitution being taken down. There's no difference between what the blacks suffered in South Africa and what the indigenous nationalities are suffering in Nigeria today under the constitution of 1999. It creates a master-servant union. It guarantees all the things that are happening to you to happen to you. But unfortunately for those who imposed it, they put our signature as the authors of our damnation, say we the people. It is on that ground that we stand to say we never met, we never agreed on anything, we never drew up any constitution. Unfortunately, further for them, they wrote the story of how they came about the constitution, which is what this Olisabakoba kind of people are trying to help them wriggle out of. Are you going to cure a fraud with another fraud? The soldiers made a constitution and say we made it. Now you're inviting the National Assembly to reinforce the fraud by saying, okay, we made it, not the soldier. Now we are with the people. Even if the National Assembly does what Olisabakoba asks them to do, it does not cure the document. Because the legislative mandate of National Assembly does not extend to constitution making. They lack constituent powers, which is what it requires to make constitution. The constituent powers to make constitution exclusively belong to the sovereign components of Nigeria. If Abakoba is in doubt, if anybody wants to learn, let them go to section 14.2a, subsection 2a of that constitution to hear the confession of those who enacted that document, where they say that sovereignty belongs to the people, from whom government, through this constitution, derives all powers and authority. It is in knowing that truth that they try to pretend in the preamble that we the people, we the Ogoni, we the Yoruba, we the Tiv, have solemnly resolved to submit our lands and our people. That's a lie. That's the lie we want addressed now in 90 days. Every other complaint is subsidiary. Every other complaint about equity and marginalization is totally secondary. The principal complaint now is that we have not submitted our sovereignty into this union of attrition, union of death. And we are saying we have 90 days to resolve it around the table. If we are not going to that table, it may be too late to set up a table. When those who are choking will take the next steps. And if anybody wants to know what is available to them to do, you better look in the direction of the meaning of self-determination. You better look in the direction of what the UN said about it. You better find out why the UN rapporteur came in August, September of 2019. You better find out. I'm ashamed of the Nigerian Bar Association that this kind of discussion is going on. The Nigerian Bar Association does not come to take a position. I'm ashamed of the church in Nigeria. Where are the Bishop Tutus in this land? This was the situation in South Africa at the time Desmond Tutu stood up to be on the side of the people. Where are these men of God in this land? Where are the men of God in this land? What are they saying about this? How can we have a document of this magnitude on the table and they're going about pretending as if nothing has been said? The labor union will jump out now to say, oh, salary, they've not paid us. It's going to, they will increase it for us. Shame on the labor movement. We're talking about your life. The media, the men of God, that's the church. The labor movement, even the students. Your future has been compromised. There's a chance to recover it now. And those who compromise the future are inviting you to come and be part of how they go to renew the life of the document that enslaved you, that sold your future over your head. And we're discussing it. Everybody just carrying on with I don't even know how to describe it, what they were discussing all this while. When your life is being compromised, your very life. Our sovereignty has been compromised as a people, but as individuals, they've taken everything that make up your life. Your assets are now owned by other people. You are the one who have to go and slave in foreign land to earn a living. Why are you not in your homeland? Where will electricity come from for you to return to your homeland? Where will security come from? And we're discussing something that can rectify all of that. And our people are not interested. They are busy. I don't know what else they will be discussing that makes sense to them. We have a proposition on the table. 10 days gone out of 90 days. The default, we're not begging anybody to come to discuss it. We're only informing those who do not know that there has been a proposition. The default will be more costly to manage. We're praying it doesn't get to where we go to that default, because if there's no meeting, there's a default. What will happen? That constitution is dead and gone. The 1999 constitution is dead and gone. If there's no meeting, the union it erects is dead and gone. Therefore, the default will be that those who are choking in that union will just march into their self-determination, which is inalienable. Let all these bogus professors hanging all over the place go and learn what sovereignty means. The right to self-determination is an incident of sovereignty. Sovereignty vests exclusively in the peoples of Nigeria, not the people of Nigeria, the peoples of Nigeria. That the Yoruba own their sovereignty. Their land and their people belong to them. If you want to do Nigeria with them, you have to now get them to discuss with you. The Nigeria you imposed by 1999 Constitution is dead and gone. We're only going to tolerate that Constitution as basis of the union and of governance for a limited period of time, which we have put on the table now for all to see. If we decide to ignore it and go on with our brigandage that have been on since 1967, the majority that now realize where their problems are coming from will act in self-preservation.
I don't know, maybe we should take a couple of questions because I was thinking we're going to close in 5 minutes because I asked for an hour and I've actually occupied you for 1.5 hours. Today being Christmas Day, you have a family you want to attend to, but you said this is a bigger project. That is why you even agree in the first case to come online with me. I want to thank everybody who's watching currently. If you're watching this program, if you have not shared it, you're not doing yourself any favor. If you're not shared it, you need to share this program. You need to invite others to watch it. You need to send it everywhere. I want to appreciate one of our viewers this morning, Mr. Teal. Please give me a call immediately we finish this program, because you said you're going to try and help us to translate the document into Yoruba language. If I supply you with the English, you can translate it into Yoruba language, and we'll make it so tiny, maybe about 10 megabytes, because it's only audio, no video. So it will be able to go far. It wouldn't hit into people's data. And even if it eats into your data, this is even your life. This is about you. Don't leave your house on fire and think you can go on merriment somewhere. It doesn't work like that. So listen, gentlemen, I want to thank you very much. I like the amount of people who are currently watching this program online on Facebook. I haven't been able to see Facebook is bigger today. I don't know how. Normally YouTube is always bigger. Joyce, thank you very much for coming. Jacob, thank you for coming. Abiodun, thank you for coming. Kenwald, thank you for coming. Alex Isinge, the man from Cameroon, facing the same problem Nigeria is facing. I think we need to talk. Mr. Alex, if you're still online, please get in touch. Let's have a brief discussion, and we can compare what we're doing in Nigeria to what you're doing in your country. Maybe you're a lawyer, Tony is a lawyer, you're speaking the same language, and you're probably reading from the same in-book. Maybe we need to brainstorm together one of these days so that we can see how things can even get better. The media in Nigeria is not owned by the government. The problem is that the government is shocking them. But telling the truth, at least to a certain level, reportage is not a crime, it's not a sin. I think I saw it a little bit in a corner in Punch a couple of days ago when they said some people are declaring the constitution of Nigeria as fraudulent. So they calling for force majeure. And it was so tiny that it was like someone commenting on a Facebook program. So I don't know how they get that. Today, again, I've only got 18 likes. The more likes you have on this program, the more likely it is that people will see it. That is why I'm clamoring for this like. It's not because they're going to give me money if you like it, but we want to make sure this go viral. We want to make sure people have the opportunity to actually listen to this later on and see it later on. Because if you don't like it, how do you want your friends, your family, because let me tell you what happened. Every post you like, Facebook will show it to your friends. It means it's going to go more places. And the only thing we could do is to like it more. At the moment, I've only got 34 likes from 76 watching on Facebook, and I've only got 21 likes on 72. Wow, from the people watching on YouTube currently. And I seriously need to have it more than that. The reason being that the more likes you have, the more people will have the opportunity to see it. So let's get our hand on the like button and click like, so that a lot of people can actually see this. I want to see 40 is gone to 40 on YouTube, 26 maybe some few people on YouTube currently has actually been able to click the like button. Please, it is very important that we do this, because it gives more people the opportunity to see it. I don't know, maybe we should open the phone line, or we should let our guest go for today. And I believe we might be having somebody else among the team of this first Majeure team coming up on Heritage Television, maybe about 1 or 2 every week, so that we can educate ourselves more, so that it can be on top of our agenda. The more we speak about it, the better it's going to be for every one of us. So I'm imploring you guys, don't just keep the good news to yourself. I don't think you know it's a good news. Something that will free you from slavery. If you don't know, currently you have been enslaved in your own land. So the only thing that can take you away from this slavery is to fight for your right. Not with guns, not with arms, not with ammunition, but do it legally, in a legal way. In a legal way. And this is a legal way. We don't want war. But if war comes, we don't have a choice. We won't start a war. We don't want war. War is not the best thing. Nobody win in a war situation. Nobody win. So that is why we're not going that direction. We want to go in a constitutional way that is recognized by the international community. We're not just relying on Britain or America, we're relying on everybody. If we have 150 something countries in the whole world, or in Africa, or whatever you have, some will still have their head, they will still have their brain. Why did Britain came out of European Union? It's not working for them. So what is bad in Nigeria coming out of this union of Nigeria? There's no problem with that. It's only these people are too greedy. They're too greedy, forgetting that we're still going to be neighbors. If they don't treat it right now, they pay for it later on. It's not a threat. It's a reality. So, Mr. Tony, I want to thank you. Let me take your last word, because I don't think it's very good for you, for me to keep you here too long than necessary on this case. I want to thank everybody on YouTube, because the figures on YouTube have gone up. The figure on Facebook has gone up as well in terms of like. I've managed to get half of likes on YouTube. I think a gentleman, one of my brother, was actually explaining how to do the likes on YouTube. They said close the chat, and then you can like it and come back and open the chat again. Then you can keep doing that. Mr. Tony, your last word on the program today. Your last advice for our audience today, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, Mr. T. You know what's funny? People call me Mr. T, and I'm calling Mr. T as well. So we're both Mr. T. Tony, can you hear me?
Yes, the volume of voice for our audience. You probably need to adjust something from the studio.
Okay. I will just turn it up a little bit, yeah? Your last word on the program today, sir. Your last word.
Well, we invite our people to please go to the website www.freedomfromnigeria.com, so that they can lay their hands on the proclamation document and even the open memo to the president of 2018, so that they can see exactly what we're asking to be done, and to realize that the source of their misery is that constitution, that the life of the constitution is renewed every 4 years by election, that the winner of any election will govern by that constitution, and that only political parties contest such elections. They're in a position to stop the renewal of the life of that constitution by getting the political parties to close shop now. We're inviting them to that task, but they need to guide themselves in terms of the information base upon which they can drive that task successfully. If we do just that, it won't be up to 90 days before we come to the beginning of the end for that constitution, for that source of our misery. That will be my last words.
Hold on. Thank you, Tony. I want to appreciate you for what you've done currently. I would like to keep doing this, and I've got so many people online thanking you for what you've done. But like I said, This is actually me dragging you out on a Christmas day to come and talk to your lovely
Yes,
people. I want to seriously appreciate you.
Because of the many incidences of killing our people, the Christians in Nigeria, on Christmas Day. The reason I offered to do this on Christmas Day is in honor of the memory of those who have been targeted on Christmas Day. You remember the Majeure incident? You remember the one in Southern Kaduna? Every time Christmas comes, there are people waiting in the wings to go to kill people in that time, just to make, just to aggravate the weight of what they are doing. And so we recognize we're in a war, and that's why we're doing this on Christmas Day. To our people, I say, Merry Christmas, whatever is left of everything. Let's be grateful to God we're still alive. Corona had not taken over everybody. Let's be a bit more careful in what we do to avoid falling victim of Corona. But 2020 is gone now. 2021, the first quarter of 2021 should see us walking out of this prison compound we have been in for so long. Caliphate prison called Nigeria. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you very much. Until next time when I see you again, Mr. T, goodbye, sir. And thank you for honoring our invitation today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mr. Tony Nandi, who has been at the forefront of the fight for my freedom and your freedom. This man left his own freedom because he left everything he has to do for the last few years. And when I mean few years, I'm talking about more than 11 years. I went around yesterday having a look at his stiffing on him yesterday, and I find out that 11 years ago he was talking about this false Majeure thing. And I said, God of mercy, this man has been doing this and going everywhere. Today is in Port Harcourt, tomorrow is in Plateau, next tomorrow is in Anambra, next tomorrow is in Abeokuta. He has actually met all the stakeholders, everybody. He has actually gone there, sit down with them, explain what is going on, tell them this is what is wrong, tell them this is not what is working, explain everything. You can see his passion. The man is so passionate. When I mean passionate about freedom for everyone, not freedom for himself, but freedom for everyone. I want to thank our guest again, and I really want to thank everyone who has actually partake in what we've been able to do. I'm not going to take calls today because I know a lot of people are calling. I just have a rethink of heart, because rethink of heart means I don't want to keep Mr. Tony Nandi too long on the show. That is why I didn't want him to take any question today. But I want to thank everybody who has been with me on this program today. I cannot thank you enough. I cannot just thank you enough, because you're too wonderful. For you as well to leave your Christmas dinner and come and listen to our guest today is fantastic. But it's worth it. I really want to tell you, it's worth it. Freedom is not given, it's earned. This is how to earn your freedom. Earn it. But you can do more. www.freedom from nigeriainfo.com. www.freedomfromnigeria.com. You need to go there. Put your name there as a signatory to this force majeure. Sign the petition as well. There's a petition there that needs to go viral. Don't just sign it, share it. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody, let it go viral. Chain reaction. You understand? One man's the pyramid at the top is only one, but by the time it gets that, let it all filter down. Let this message filter down. Let it go everywhere. Goes on your Facebook. Share it on Facebook. Share it on WhatsApp. Share it on Twitter. Make it trending on Twitter. And this way, we can get out of this nonsense of things. I want to thank you all. I want to say Merry Christmas to you all. On behalf of everybody who has been working in the studio, everyone. And on behalf of everyone who's been online watching this program, I want to thank you all. And I can't thank you enough. But still, I still want more share. I still want more like. Because that is the way to make it happens, and happens properly. Guys, until next time when I come your way, because I'm still going to come your way later on today, there's so many things that we need to to have a look at together. I want to thank you very much, and keep watching. And wherever you're watching this program from, and wherever you watch it from later on, please share it, like that platform. This is not about heritage. This is about every one of us. Everyone. So please encourage where you're gonna watch it later on as well to make their platform grow. Let it grow. When we do it together, there's greatness in numbers. You understand? Let it grow. Wherever platform you're watching it on now, and where you're gonna watch it later on, please share it. And I want to say Merry Christmas to you, and bye bye.
Heritage Television kìí o. Kérésìmesì ọdún tuntun. Wọ́n ní ká lówó lọ́dún tuntun. Ọdún olówó ọdún ayọ̀. Ọdún Kérésìmesì o. Lọ́yà san wá tìletìle. Ẹ wá gbọ́. Àwùjọ níláárí àwùjọ rọ́nà gbégbá o. Nínú ọdún tuntun tó wọlé wá o. Heritage Television ló sọ fún wa o. Kérésìmesì ọdún ti dé. Ọdún ti dé o. Ọdún olówó ọdún ayọ̀. Ọdún ti dé ọdún wọlábọ̀. Heritage TV. Heritage TV. La, 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 la. Heritage TV.
Everybody in London, have you heard that Heritage Television has come up with something new? All your functions and celebrations can now be multi-camera live stream that was only reserved for the rich and famous. Having a function in London can be viewed clean and clear immediately from any part of the world. Trust Heritage TV to give you a better reach. Heritage Television also does photography that will make you the envy of all your friends and family. Heritage Television is the best. All your functions like birthdays, funerals, weddings, church anniversaries or harvest. Heritage Television is the master. We are in the heart of London with an ultra-modern equipped studio. You can call us on 020-800-46100 or email us info@heritagetv.co.uk or mobile 0734 1234 560. Heritage Television will do you proud.